Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another workshop by OPM Tools. It is I, Mustafa Shahid, and we have Cohen with us, Cohen Powell. And today we'll be taking you into the AI depth. This is about conversation AI, and since conversation AI within the system can be implemented for all your messaging channels, be it your social media, your live chat widget on your website, or your landing pages, or your SMS, and now even on your emails. What that means is someone reaches out to your email, and then the AI can take over. So, in order to understand this, you can think about that you're running a lead nurture campaign, and if anyone responds to it, you don't want to manually try to convince them and send them different answers. You want the AI to take over and configure out a way on how to handle it so that you can maximize your appointment booking. And this is how you will set that up. Cohen, would you like to show them the conversation AI bot part? And when it comes to the flow builder, I'll get back on.
So, like Mustafa said, I'm going to be giving you a brief overview regarding the conversation AI, more specifically the workflow conversation AI, where an actual automation is tied to the AI agent that will really help expedite the process. Now, using the bot that we just created, the lead nurturing bot, or you can create your own bot using the top right button of Create Agent. We're going to go into our bot settings, and first we agreed with the bot details. First off, we're going to give it a name. The lead nurturing bot is what we have it set as, and then we're going to set its bot status. Now, normally there are three options, and I'll go over each one. Off just completely turns off the conversation AI. Autopilot completely makes it to where the AI agent will automatically respond to any incoming messages depending on the supported communication channel that you have set. And then finally, there is suggestive. Suggestive is going to be a mode where the bot will suggest certain responses regarding the question or the message sent from the customer. So it will curate a message for you, and you are free to use that message, or you are free to respond in your own way as well. However, depending on your settings, you have to turn that on as well.
So when we are using conversation AI bot, we have like multiple different modes. So when you click on create an agent, you'll be greeted with three different modes. Since we are showing you the flow builder in which you have more advanced options, in this one you wouldn't have suggestive. But if you had chosen the other two options, the suggestive would have shown.
All right, and after you set the bot status, either setting it to autopilot off or suggestive, we're going to move to our communication channels. The communication channels are exactly what they sound like. This is where the bot is going to be responding, and if it is not set to the supported communication channels, then it will completely ignore any messages sent through those channels. So, say for example, that we want to set the bot to respond to any messages through email, Facebook, or Instagram, we can certainly do so. However, it is recommended that you only do one channel per bot just to make sure that the bot doesn't fry itself or freak out or anything like that, and make sure that it's working to the best of its ability. So it's highly recommended that you just use one. We also have to configure email settings if you set it to the email communication channel. Otherwise, you can just ignore that. And then next is the AI bot trial. This is going to be where you basically test the bot given the prompts that you've already given it. However, this feature is not functioning at the moment, so give it some time in order to use this feature. Next is the advanced settings. You're going to be setting the business name that the bot is going to be working for, and then next is the autopilot mode. Now, with the autopilot mode, you are able to set a wait time before responding. This basically gives the bot a more human-like response time to its responses. So you're able to give it 2 minutes before it responds, or you're able to give it 2 seconds to respond, whichever you prefer. Now, for a later setting, this is also going to be very helpful. So set it back to 2 minutes. And we are also able to set a maximum messages upon consent in a conversation as well. This only goes up to 100, but my recommendation is 25 messages, though it really depends on what type of business and service you provide. And then there is also allow this bot to respond to images and voice notes, and this is going to be a later feature in the future. However, it will basically allow clients to send images and voice notes, which the bot can understand and respond to as well. And then send bot to sleep when I send a message manually or through the workflow. This works in tandem with the wait time before responding. Say, for example, that you want to set the wait time before responding to 2 minutes to give yourself enough time in case you want to interject and respond to a client before the bot can to give a more detailed answer in case it is not that great at giving details. So this is perfect for that in case you want to talk to the client yourself where you would rather the bot did not. And then you can reactivate the bot after a set amount of time. And then moving to the response settings. Whenever you enable response style settings, you're able to change how the bot will respond, either in a more concise, balanced, or detailed manner. Normally it is set to concise because just to give it a more conversational feel, hence the name. And then finally is the pricing, which you can look more into that. And then next, we're going to go into the bot training tab. Bot training tab is going to give you an overview of the knowledge bases that you have attached to the bot, all the information that is attached to that knowledge base, and also a feature to test your bot. Moving back to the knowledge base, in a previous lesson, we went over the knowledge base. Let me go back over it again. The knowledge base is just an accruement of information that you were able to give any of your AI agents, not just the conversation AI. It will have information regarding pretty much anything regarding your business. So let's go back to the OverPower knowledge base dummy. After creating the knowledge base, we have multiple options to either add a web crawler, an FAQs, a doc sheet or table, rich text, which is basically just paragraphs of information, and then a file upload. You are able to use all these features in tandem, and the bot will either use the web crawler to go through your website, gather information that you have on your website, and use that information to give answers and details to customers that want to respond to it. The FAQ is exactly what it sounded like. You enter a question, and then you get the bot the answer to that question. Tables, you upload Google Docs. Rich text, if you don't have a file on hand, you are able to explain your service as well as the pricing and whatever else details you need to provide for the bot to better manage your customers. And then there's the file upload in case you do have files that have images or whatever you may need uploaded to the knowledge base, and the bot is able to understand that as well. And then this overview of the knowledge base will give you details of how much information is attached to that knowledge base, and you are able to attach more than one knowledge base to the conversation AI. Moving on to bot goals, we have the flow-based builder, which Mustafa will be going over shortly. And then just like the voice AI, we have the prompt. Now give me one moment to open this up. We are able to set the tone of the bot replies, similar to what we were talking about earlier about concise response styles and so on. We are also able to configure the personality and style of the bot in more detail in the personality and style section. We can design the intent behind the conversation. What is the purpose of having this chatbot available to customers? Was the intent? Is it to gather information, to schedule appointments? What is it that you need this bot to do to handle for you that you normally cannot for so many customers? And then additional information that you want to add, more details that may not be in your knowledge base, or something that's more regarding how the bot should handle a client in a more professional manner, or how you normally would. And you are also able to set up actions similar to a voice AI agent. You are able to stop a bot depending on certain conditions that need to be met. You are able to let the bot transfer over or notify you whenever a certain condition is met and you need to start responding. Say, for example, a client is saying that they would rather speak to a real human. They are able to hand over the conversation to you, in which you can take over. And auto follow up allow the bot to follow up with the contact when a specified condition is met, and we're able to do the appointment cancel and reschedule settings, allow the bot to cancel an appointment that is already that a client is saying that they want to cancel, or allow a bot to reschedule the appointment depending on what they need. And then we are also able to enable conversation summary. This will basically send over a transcript of a client's needs or wants after they've had a conversation with the conversation AI. Now, going back to something I previously said in the bot settings, is the support communication channels. Where are you going to find these conversations that are being held between the conversation AI as well as the client? Well, you can find that in the conversations tab. If you move to the conversations tab, you are able to pull up any previous conversations that you've had with the client, whether through all channels, and you are also able to message them through multiple channels as well. So if you're ever confused on where to find a conversation that the conversation AI has had with a client, this is where you find it. All right. And that's a brief overview of the conversation AI. I think I'm going to pass it over to Mustafa, where he can go over the Webflow builder as well.
Absolutely. So before I do that, let me just show you some more important information that might be really useful for you. So when you're working with the conversation AI bot, especially for emails, and you see this option over here, the configure email settings, click going over here will give you the access of configuring your emails the way it goes out. So you can select your from name, you can even add CC or BCC recipients in order to make sure that someone is following that email chain by getting the email alerts and the notifications as well as the entire conversation thread. So, for example, if the AI bot is having a conversation with someone that I want to be looking after, I can add my email over here in the CC recipient. So it will be very easy for me to respond immediately when I want to respond. So I can cut the AI before it sends out an email. And then you can have the reply behavior over here as well, where you can type down what the reply response is going to look like. Then you can even have add your wait time before responding. What that means is that if I'm working from email, I would prefer that my bot takes some time to give me as the human some time to come up with a response. And if I can't come up with a response, if I don't want to respond, then it sends out an email. So I would do it something like 30 minutes all the way to 2 hours, so that that email communication which has been done is being done at separate intervals, which will give me enough time to jump in if I want to. Then I can click on proceed to see the format. Now, when you're working with emails and you feel like that the emails are supposed to be going out in a particular design element, not such as a plain text, you can choose that over here. The only difference is when you'll be building this template, we will just add a specific block where the AI message will pop up, and the rest of the information can be covered by us and we can make that. So for example, if I want to add some images, maybe a video, maybe a signature, whatever I want to, I can. And wherever I want the message to be to popped up or to pop up, I can just add this particular custom value, and it will automatically place that message that the AI has generated in that section. And then I can click on proceed and see what the final review looks like. Anyways, I wanted to show that. Apart from that, when you go over here into the bot goals, and you click on edit flow builder, it will take you automatically to this page. Now I have added a few actions, but the one thing that you see over here is that you won't be able to play with the settings or play with the conversation AI work trigger itself. You can see it, you can name it, but you can't do much about it from here. You can configure it back in the previous window, but over here you're going to be working on the actions itself. So let's start with the first action. You can add it over here or it will just open up. So the first one that you have is the AI capture information. So the important part about this is that this action will be executed only once it will not try no, it will, let me, yeah, this capture and qualify action will loop autonomously until it achieves its objective or an exit criteria. So it will use up the maximum attempts until it can reach a particular level. What that means is either it achieves the outcome that it desires, or the person says stop, or the person says transfer me to a manager or to a human. Anything, if the person says on the email chain that needs to be transferred from this bot to a separate bot or to a different step, only then it will let it pass, or if it hits its limit. So it's going to continue the conversation. So when you open this up, you can give this a name. You will, first thing that you'll do is describe the objective. What do you want to get out from this? So for example, determine the name of the user, or determine the service that they are looking for, and it could be anything that you want. So you have around 500 characters at max to input the prompt or instruction for this particular objective. Now you can up whatever um, response you get, you can update that in a contact field. So for example, if you have a particular contact field set up previously, you can use this over here and you can add that in here. So for example, if I look for something and type service, description of service, light about service, major product or services, I can add it in that particular part of the contact field. So when you go into the contact, that particular field will become auto updated based on the response that we get from the client or from the user. Then I can provide it additional instructions. These would be supporting directives or directions for the objective. For example, let the user know that we can't move forward if their budget is less than X, but do not reveal the number. So you can give it like secondary, not exactly objective, but directions or limits or guidelines to stay within those limits without revealing what you don't want to reveal, while also responding in a professional, friendly manner. So that what you can do, and then you can even add a response example that I look forward to working with you, but this time we have our hands full, or we'll reach out to you with an accurate, not exactly an accurate, but a more well-defined answer or something like that. Whatever the jargon of your industry is, you can use that. Now, you can skip the objective if field is already filled out. So you can choose this. If the field that you're trying to fill over here, the contact field, if it's already filled out, it will skip it, skip the objective and move forward. And you can give it like maximum attempts. What a maximum attempt is, the bot will stop trying to fulfill the objective after its number of its own messages send trying to fulfill it. For example, the maximum is 2, so the bot will say, what is your email address? And if the person says no or nothing, the bot says, in this case, in case we get disconnected, what is your email address so I can reconnect? And the user says, don't worry about it, and the bot will move on to the next objective because you only enter the limit was 2. So you can increase or decrease the limit if you want to. Let's say I just want it to be 5. And then we have the don't proceed to next objective if criteria not met. What that means is that this will end the conversation with a closing message, something like, thank you, but your budget is too low for to be a good fit for us, or something like that. And then what you do is enable this. You can add a closing message, and you can even add a tag. A tag would be beneficial over here if you want to make like a list of people that for whom the objective was not met and the bot had to close. So maybe you want to reach out to them personally. XYZ, you have a lot of different options to play with. For now, I'll just uncheck this and move forward. The next item that we have is the book appointment. So if I click over here, we have the book appointment over here, which I've already added. I can click over here. Now, what this means is we can enter the prompt for the calendar bookings, and I can select which calendar that booking will be made for. So now this action will also loop attempting. Sorry, this action will loop attempting to meet its objective of booking an appointment using multiple messages until there is a clear exit. By, for example, the person says, I don't want to book, or I have no interest in meeting with you, or I'm not interested in the services. Anything that they say, which could be translated into that they don't want an appointment booking, and then the bot will move forward. So you will be entering your prompt over here for the calendar booking. You will be describing how to encourage the user to book an appointment, select the calendar, whatever it may be, and then you have two different branches. So let me just zoom out a little bit. The first branch is appointment booked, what happens, and if the appointment is not booked, what happens. Simple as that. Then again, if I click on the plus icon, you have your end conversation and more on. So the first thing that we will talk about is end conversation. So by default, whenever the contact reaches an end node, this is what the end node means. They will stay there until any further interaction will with the chat will be in that context. This action will definitely end the conversation and it will not be continued. So if you end a conversation over here, that's it. Nothing else will be going forward. And then you can even choose if you want to reactivate the bot after a certain time period. So for example, reactivate after 1 day, and then it will be reactivated from here and carried forward. Yep. Then you have other options as well. Let's go to the AI splitter. What the AI splitter does is it does not send messages or collect information. It only analyzes previously collected information. So in the description, you're going to provide the logic. So for example, what type of service does the contact need? And if you have multiple services, you'll have multiple branches, and then you can add the branches. So the branch name, branch name, branch name, so on and so forth. So for example, I'll give the description, describe, oh, sorry. There should be something about which service does the client require. And this could be, let's say, common services would be SEO, then we have social media, and so on and so forth. I can just click on save action and it gives me different branches. So what happens if no condition is met? What happens if it's SEO? What happens if it's social media? And so on and so forth. Then if I click over here, it's not related to SEO, but just to give you what the different action would be. The next thing that you have is like an AI message. Well, the AI message is that you're prompting the bot to provide a message based on this. So this action will only be executed only once. It's not going to accomplish an objective. It's just going to rephrase what you wanted to send forward. So for example, tell the user that we are the best in the business, or we are an award-winning agency, or we provide amazing services, or our turnout period is really good. Whatever your selling points are, just do it over here, add it over here, and then it will, based on the previous conversation of the entire thread and based on the prompt that you provided, it will tune out a proper message and send that forward. And then you can either the bot can wait for a reply, or you can uncheck. I was able to uncheck this before. Oh, sorry. Let's say blah, blah, blah. All right, it's still a little finicky, but yeah, that's what you do. Once you have done that, the next thing that you can add is a custom message. What a custom message means and what the difference is. Custom messages that the AI will not rewrite it. It's going to send this forward as it is. So you can provide whatever message is. This will be copied as it is. Again, this will be only be sent out once. It's not going to accomplish any objective. It's just to send it forward. Save. And then you have other ones which are transfer bot. So what a transfer bot does is it will transfer at a particular branch. For example, you have multiple different bots, each for a different service, each for a different query of the user. Maybe they want to talk to a manager, or they want to talk to your sales team, or they have like basic Q&As, and you have different bots made with different knowledge bases. So you can transfer that bot to that particular different bot. So it's a bot to bot transfer. If human to human transfer would be something like a receptionist, you call a receptionist and you say, hey, I want to talk to the sales team, or you say something that gives the idea that this person would be better met, or he'll be better catered by the sales team. So they transfer it over to the sales team. This is the exact same thing. The initial bot will collect the information and transfer the bot to a more specialized bot for that particular field. That's what it does. And then you have continue conversations as well. So if you want to break a conversation and then start a conversation from different places, you can do that. And again, if you have the entire roadmap or exactly the process what you need it to be, this entire confusing looking workflow will be very simplified and very easy to understand. And then you have other options that you can do as well. So along with the options of the conversation AI, you have contact tag, assigning it to user, if else, wait, added to different workflows. Some of the actions are unable to be used within this, but most of the actions can be used. You can also send emails to the client or to the user. You can send out review requests. And what else? You can even manage the opportunity board. So if, for example, every time the bot initiates a conversation, create an opportunity within the opportunity pipeline that says AI bot. And for whenever someone has been transferred, again, update the stage. If someone has been disqualified, update the stage, and so on and so forth. So you see a visual understanding or a visual map out of how many leads there are within the system and which stage they are on. You can send out payment stripe charges whenever you want, or documents and contracts based on how they have responded, and so on and so forth. Again, when you have a particular agenda in mind or a particular process in mind, mapping this out and building this out would be very easy. And then once it's been built out, all you need to do is test it out. And yeah, there you go. You have your entire conversation AI as a bot. And now your emails will not stick around in your inboxes, reaching to a limit of 10,000 or 5,000. Every email will be responded to. And not just responded to, it will be understood by the bot to see if they are supposed to be responded to or not. So that is the power of conversation AI. And then you can click over here on the dashboard and see how many actions were triggered, how many were total unique contacts, total appointment book, the time that was saved. And yeah, there you would have it. I'll just select over here email just to make it more exact. And just to take you back when you're working with these bots, what you need to do in order to start a conversational AI bot. So you'll click over here, create a bot, and you have three different options. You have the prompt-based bot, the guided farm setup, which we have covered previously in our previous workshops. And this time we wanted to work on the flow-based builder. So as you see, it's recommended for advanced user, but advanced user gives you the advanced capabilities that other people might miss out on. So I hope that was informative for you, and that is what we had for this entire quarter. And yeah, I shall look forward to meeting all of you next week as well.